This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show. And we have some really raw things happening in today's world when it comes to nutrition. And I have to sometimes just think about how some of the things that are happening in the world of so-called food going on the way they are. I remember once I was watching the news a long time ago. Recently I started watching the news again. I really enjoy watching the news now because I can always use a good laugh. But I was watching the news and I saw like an 800-pound man who lived in his apartment on like the third or fourth story in a building, and he was so big he couldn't get out of his front door, down the steps, out of the house. It's a good thing the house wasn't on fire, but how in the world, when is the last time this man left his house that he was so big? I mean, he had to get into place. What, did he just sit home all day watching TV and eating? Well, apparently so. That's what it said in the news caption under it. This man just sat home all day eating because people would do takeout. They just got to pick up the phone. Next thing you know, the food's at the door and they're eating it. Well, they ended up getting this man out of the house because he got really sick, so we had to go to the hospital. And I don't know how he couldn't fit in the ambulance. I mean, I don't know what happened after this, but what they actually did was they showed this on TV and I could not believe my eyes. They actually showed a crane, one of those big building construction cranes, have to go to his window with a fire escape and pull him out and actually bring him down the crane to put him, if not in the ambulance, on top of the ambulance, who knows. And this is not making fun of obese people. This is actually feeling sorry for anyone that could let their health go so long before they actually think, I got to do something about it. Well, the times are no different today because I was just looking at the internet a couple of days ago, and there's a story that's just going to blow your mind. Now, I'm a parent and I have a baby and I love children, and when I see obese children and hear about like diabetes, so common in children today because of their diet, and you see these children, how big they are. Well, I read these stories and then I get emails from people that say, well, I don't know what to feed my kid because every time I feed my kid healthy, they don't want to eat the food, so they end up eating unhealthy. Well, who's giving them the unhealthy food? Of course they're going to eat unhealthy food if that's what they know their alternative is. If you put broccoli or chocolate chip cookies, the kid's going to cry until he gets the cookies. And he knows if you're going to give him the cookies, he's eventually going to get them. But if he knows he's not going to get the cookies, he's either eating broccoli or he's going hungry. And I promise you, he'll be eventually eating broccoli. If you're the parent, you got to be a parent. And, there's a responsibility we have to take as parent. And eating healthy sets a wonderful example for our children. And it's just not happening today. So here's the crazy story. Somebody says that this girl, 17 years old, this British girl, ate nothing her whole life for 17 years except chicken nuggets. 17 years, all she ate was chicken nuggets. And I got to read this. This is just out of this world. And it's all over the internet, but this is just one of the stories I pulled. It says, this week, a 17-year-old British factory worker, well, I don't know, 17 working in a factory, that's another story, another video, another time. Stacey Irving was rushed to the hospital when she collapsed, struggling to breathe. During the exam, doctors were stunned to learn that Mrs. Irvine had never in her life eaten fruit or vegetables. She had eaten almost nothing but fast food chicken nuggets since she was 2 years old. Then they interviewed the girl's mother. Now, first of all, I guess you could see why this is just absolutely crazy. But then they interviewed the girl's mother. And the mother says, told reporters, she had gone to great lengths to feed her daughter more nutritious foods, at one point even trying to starve the girl, but it hadn't worked. Stacey responded that once she started eating nuggets, she loved them so much, and that's all she would eat. Well, I don't know what she went to, what lengths to feed the girl healthy food, I don't know, and trying to starve the girl, I don't know, but McNuggets? At least give her a different variety of junk foods if she's going to eat just junk food. And try to sneak some some vitamins and nutrients in there. But it's a shame in today's world that some parent would have to sneak healthy food and unhealthy food to get their kids to eat it. You know, I make sure, my daughter's a young girl now, but I make sure when she's eating too much of something I don't want her eating or eating anything I don't want her eating, she knows about it. So she'll walk around the house and say, no, I can't eat that. No, I can't eat that. Nobody's even asking her. She says she can't eat it. And, you know, it's just speechless. I mean, the article goes on to say, it's what's so bad about nuggets? They would be bad enough if they were merely chunks of chicken that had been breaded and deep fried in oil. One 2004 documentary describes McDonald's nuggets as chicken stripped down to the bone and then ground up into a chicken mush and then combined with a variety of stabilizers and preservatives, pressed into familiar shapes, breaded and deep fried, freeze-dried, and then shipped to McDonald's near you. Actually, McDonald's switched to all white meat McNuggets in 2003 after a federal judge called the popular Little Bites McFrankenstein, creating various elements not utilized by home cooking. That was a report from CNN. According to one report, chicken is only about 50% of the McNugget. The remainder is a mixture of corn-derived ingredients, sugars, and synthetic substances. I mean, folks, the fact that the human body is so amazing that it could survive 17 years on just McNuggets speaks about what a wonderful creator we have. But eventually, it's going to catch up with us. And this girl passing out at 17 years old is no difference. I mean, what are we going to have to do? Maybe it's not McNuggets. Maybe it's something else like Gatorade. You know how bad Gatorade is? First of all, folks, if something glows in the dark, it's not good for your body. But they have these glow-in-the-dark sports drinks out now, and this Gatorade drink. I mean, you know why they call it Gatorade? Because the Florida Gators were using it to replenish their electrolytes. But then after they found out years later that several people from the Florida Gators were getting cancer, they started to investigate, and they found out the drink was a problem. So instead of taking it off their market and making sure nobody else had this drink, what'd they do? They made a popular drink out of it called Gatorade, and now everyone's drinking it, and you got sports stars that are promoting it. This is a sick world we live in, folks. It's very simple. Fruits and vegetables that grow in the ground and come off the tree, those are the foods we want for the majority of foods for our body, if not all the foods for our body. It's not difficult to do. And before I had a child, I couldn't really say, well, if you have a kid, do it this way, but now I have a child. And I'm telling you, it's not difficult to feed them healthy food. Chicken McNuggets for 17 years? It's no wonder why she passed out. It's amazing that she woke up from passing out. Using a crane to get out of your apartment, little kids that are so obese, they're getting type 2 diabetes and all these other things. You know, it's not diabetes or cancer or obesity that runs in the family. No, it's the eating habits that run in the family. It's the unhealthy habits that run in the family. Eating in front of the TV, eating TV dinners, eating microwave food. All of this is creating a problem. And if we want to take ourselves seriously and take our health seriously, it's time we do something about it. And stop letting your children dictate what you should be feeding them. I see it all the time. I see people, parents feeding their kids something unhealthy just to keep their kid quiet. We have a big problem in today's world. But this just blew my mind. I'm going to talk about the raw food diet and the raw food lifestyle, but I'm going to start getting into these news updates because when I see these things, I have to let people know how crazy this world is and let people know it doesn't have to be this crazy. Look, folks, if you have children out there, here's what I suggest. My wife, Andrea, just started a new video blog on YouTube. You can go to her blog. It's called www.ourawlife.com. OURrawlife.com. I'll post it below the screen right here. And you can go look at the videos on YouTube. Just look at the YouTube name, Living the Raw Life. And you'll find that on YouTube and you'll see her videos. And in a majority of her videos, or a good amount of her videos, she's going to talk about how to raise children healthy, feeding them healthy, eating healthy food. And she's going to talk all about that. So that's what I recommend, a good place to start. Another good place to start is be consistent with your children. Don't tell them one day they can eat good food and one day you let them eat bad food. Be consistent. Give them healthy alternatives that taste good. If you make the food taste good, they will eat it. but you have to enjoy the food also. Don't just give your kids some food and say, well, you eat that because I don't like it, or you give your kids the healthy food and you eat unhealthy food. No, set the example by being the example. Eat the healthy food. Say, this is so yummy, this is great, and then the kids will eat it. It's not difficult. It's actually fun, and kids like eating, especially the exotic fruits, but there's so much they like to do. All right, everybody, if you have any comments or questions, and I'm sure you will to this one, post them below the video and tune in again and tune into my wife's new channel as well. And we just really enjoy bringing you the truth the way it should be, the raw truth, because this is the raw life, and that's how we roll with the raw life. Until then, everybody, have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.